Hi, and welcome to my channel. Or if you're a returning subscriber, hi again. It's so nice to see you back here for another video. My name is Tess Lark, and today we're going to be experimenting with UV resin and clear shampoo. I recently got really obsessed with the idea of creating some water ripples in resin, and one of the last little touches to make that water ripple really pop is to have a little drop or a couple drops in the center. After some experimenting, I figured out that this technique needed a little bit more attention than I wanted to throw into a video about this technique. So here we are. As always, I will have all the materials that I used linked in the description down below. So if anybody's curious, all of that will be down there for you. And let's go ahead and craft. I started out by pouring some clear shampoo into a clear glass container, and I've got my UV light really close by set up and ready to go because I want to make sure that I can cure the resin before it hits the bottom of the container. And when I was looking for clear shampoo, I honestly just looked for the cheapest brand that I could find. I just went to my local drugstore and picked some up for this purpose. And I went ahead and I dropped a small amount of UV resin into my container. And as you can see here, the shampoo is way more viscous than the UV resin. So it's really taking a while for it to work its way down to the bottom of the container. But I will shortly go on and turn on this light to make sure I can start to cure this piece. Before we continue, I'd like to give a quick shout out to Daniel Cooper. My husband sent me a video on YouTube of a woman doing this really beautiful water ripple effect with resin, and when I was researching how that technique was done, Dan's videos are one of the first that popped up, and his are some that I watched to figure out this technique. So Daniel, if you're ever watching this, hi, thank you so much for sharing with us here on YouTube. I'm so happy that you shared your technique, and I'm happy to also share my own experimentations and hope that you guys find these videos useful as well. I will, however, link his channel in the description. Okay, back to our project. As this little blob of resin was falling down, I was noticing a little tiny point on it. Not quite what I'm looking for the purposes of this experiment, looking to make sort of a water drop to put in the center of my water ripple effect, and I will have that video linked down in the description as well. But what I really need is a circular drop with a nice long tail. And right now I'm getting a pretty big drop with just kind of a tiny tail, so it's more just teardrop shaped. This is one of the pieces I made a little bit before I decided to record all of this. So I dropped in a little bit more resin, and as you can see, this top one that's falling down has a little bit more of a tail, but still not quite what I'm looking for. I definitely think that there could be a lot of cool applications for this shape of resin, but I decided that I needed to manipulate my holding fluid a little bit more so that there was less resistance and the resin could fall through it a bit faster. I took a bit of that clear shampoo out, and now I'm just adding a little bit of water, and then I'll take a popsicle stick and mix that together really well. And I'm sorry if I'm stating the obvious, but you definitely don't want to ever use that glass container or the clear container for food or anything like that ever again. And you definitely don't want to use the shampoo again. Now this is purely for crafting purposes. You also want a clear shampoo and a clear container so that the UV light can penetrate through to cure the resin. So now that we've mixed some water into our clear shampoo, let's go ahead and try this experiment again. So I'll snuggle my lid up nice and close and go ahead and pour some more of this resin. And you can already see how much faster that's falling. See how it's hitting the bottom and flattening out? So I turned the light on, but alas, we are too late. Trying a little bit more here with the light on just to see, and still hitting the bottom super quick and flattening out. So here are those pieces from that first batch of experiments where it was just the clear shampoo. See how it's really round? They're pointed at the tips, but I don't really have like a long tail that I could attach into the center of my splash. Getting close. This is definitely not getting closer. Again, I do think that there could be some cool applications here. It almost looks like sea glass, but definitely not what I'm trying to do today. I tried to do a couple more in this formulation with the water and the shampoo, this time with the light on and dripping my resin in a little bit more slowly. So as you can see here, I'm definitely getting a better point on it, but it's still not curing quite fast enough before it hits the bottom. And I'm still also not getting those nice long tails that I was hoping for. So I'll go ahead and I'll pull these out of the container using a pair of tweezers. I'll rinse them off and let's try again. This time with the light on before I even start pouring, and again just a slow steady stream, and you can see it go. I'm getting a nice long tail, but again it's just hitting the bottom way too fast. By the way guys, if you are finding this video to be informative or helpful in any way, please don't forget to give it a like. It not only helps out my channel a whole lot, but it also lets me know that I'm making content that you want to see from me. Those pieces weren't quite what I was looking for either, so next I got the idea, what if I start over? What if I put just a little bit of that clear shampoo at the bottom of an empty container, and then I add some of that shampoo with water mixture to the top? So essentially trying to give the bottom a little bit more of a cushion before it falls all the way through. So I've got my buffer of clear shampoo, and then I'm pouring that mixture of water and shampoo. Honestly, it probably has a little bit of resin in it at this point too, but let's try this out. So let's turn on our light and pour in a little bit of resin and see what happens. Our first guy is a cute little blob, but it's kind of funny. You can see when it hits that layer just of shampoo and see it flatten out. Womp womp. I don't think that this was the solution I was looking for, but we will continue to try. Finally, it hit me that maybe, just maybe, I was not using a big enough container and allowing enough time for the resin to work its way through all of that fluid. So let's try a mason jar. So I'm filling up my mason jar with that shampoo and water combination. Clearly I'm going to need a lot more, so let me get this situated and we'll try again. Alright, so our light is on, our solution's ready to go, and I'm just going to pour a slow stream of resin in at the top. And here we go, get that light nice and close. And friends, I think we're very close here. There's also something to be said about pressure control. I found when I did like a little blob of resin pretty quickly, it stayed pretty circular, but a slow, steady stream got me more of a nice tail. I think that this is going to work out perfectly. I've got a nice round little bulb with a really long tail. And I don't think I mentioned it before, but the mason jar that I'm using here is just a standard 8-ounce mason jar. Just checking in my project. Again, if you want to see that project, I will link it in the description. And I think we've got it. And I'm just making a couple more to make sure I've got a couple options to choose from. It definitely took some time and tinkering around with, but I'm really happy with these little water drops. And I'm so curious to think, are there any other projects that you think that we can make with these? What do you think would be some other cool applications? I'd love to know your ideas in the comments down below. So it's definitely taken a lot of trial and error, and I think that there's some really cool things that could be made with all the different variations of this UV resin, but I'm so happy that I'm starting to get these nice circular little drops with really long tails. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this experiment. Have you tried this before? Will you try it now? What are you currently working on? I love hearing from you guys and learning from you too, so let me know. And as always, thank you so much for spending part of your day with me, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, leave me some sort of space theme emoji just so that I know that you made it. I really hope that this video inspires you to make something of your own today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!